talked about this before, so I'm going to share my screen here. So let's get started. I would love to hear I always love to get to know our people on here. Obviously, I know some of you, but also you can get to know each other as well. So tell us a little bit about your business in the chat while I get up my slides for the day. I would love to know what you do, who you help, where you're located, all the fun stuff. Okay, we got some more people coming in. All right, Dan, you got that?
Yeah, I'll let people know.
Okay. Let me know if you can see my slides. I just want to make sure. Ooh, Julie is a psychic business coach helping female business owners get out of the way, align, and win. Amazing. Tech integrator, helping females, coaches, and educators build and scale their business online. Amazing. Okay, all right, so you write that. I'm going to get into the slides because Dan and I are very prompt, and we want to make sure to give you as much as possible over this time. And we are recording, right?
Yes, we are.
Okay, awesome. So what we're going to be talking about today is how to really roadmap it to 5K days. When I started, just so you know where we are at, when I started, I just wanted to get to $100 a day. And that was really my goal. I wanted to get to $100 a day and when I was leaving my teaching career, and I wanted to get to $3,000 a month because I knew for us, $3,000 a month was going to be life-changing money. Now, I've been doing this since 2011. I've been doing this a really long time. And I had this moment last week where on Thursday, Dan and I were in the city and it was a really beautiful day and we were out with friends and we had an 11K cash day. And I was like, oh my gosh, like I am so grateful that this is our norm now. I really want to take the next step and teach people like how we first got to 5K days. So that's what we're going to be breaking down in this video. And this is a picture from our last live event in March. This is a super, super exciting time. And I know that things might feel not exciting to you, but I want to, by the end of this training, I hope that we can reframe that a little bit and show you that there is so much opportunity now, that there is so many people who are ready to move forward. There's so many people out there who are ready to have help. There's so many people out there who are buying, and I want you to just see that there is so much opportunity out there for you. So I would love to just get a pulse on the climate right now. Like, how are you feeling about your business? How are you feeling about the online world? Like, are you feeling hopeful? Are you feeling frustrated? Like, just give me, we can use the stoplight system. I always find that to be very easy. Green is like, I feel very hopeful. I have sales coming in, how I want them to be coming in. I'm hitting my goals. I'm hitting my leads goals. Yellow would be like, sometimes I'm hopeful, sometimes I'm frustrated. And red would be like, I'm feeling a little frustrated right now. And what I want to assure you is no matter where you are, it's not good, bad, right, or wrong. It is just a marker on the map. It's just where we want to see where you are. And there's nothing right or wrong, good or bad about it. Okay. Excited about my business. Sales aren't where I want them to be. Optimistic, green energy, but sometimes there's yellow in results, but it's moving to green. That's amazing. Red, yellow, 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 green energy, yellow logistically. All right, awesome. So I hope at least energetically by the end you have moved up the color scale. So if you're a red, I hope energetically, my intention for you, I should say it like that, my intention for you is that you've moved up to at least a yellow. And if you're a yellow, maybe you're more of a yellow green by the end of this, so you can see what is possible for you. So in this together, we're going to share our process to get to 5K a day without social media or live launching. And the reason why I say this is because we have built our business without social media. And yes, of course, I'm on social media. I don't have the biggest audience on social media, and for a large part of our business and my online career, I have 3 kids. We have 3 kids. I have an 11-year-old, a 9-year-old, and a 6-year-old. They have been like, I started in 2011. So as our business grew, I was growing our family. So I wasn't able and I didn't want to devote large amounts of time to social media. So I'm not the person, and if you follow me, you know, and if you don't follow me, then you probably found me through an ad, because that's how we have grown our business, through ads and through our email list. Because I didn't want to be the person who had their phone out all the time, who was, documenting every single part of my life. I have zero interest in documenting every single part of my life just to make money. So that's what we're going to be talking about. We're also going to be talking about the Found Funnel, which is really our 6-figure funnels, how to get to 6 figures a month, how to set up your funnel so your dream clients are ready to find you, and then how to scale without any more of your time, which inside our program Elevate, we like to say, like, we give you the gift of your time back. That to me is more important. Money is so important, of course, like hitting big goals and building the wealth that you want to build, and getting your time back is a true gift. There's no one on this 3D Earth plane that can give you that can get you your time back once it's gone. So what we do inside Elevate is really help you get your time back, so moving forward, you can be present for the people who you want to be present for in your life. And that is the most important part. So today we're doing this for a variety of reasons, but we want to show you it is possible to build wildly profitable, wildly fun businesses where you can get your time back and enjoy what you're doing. Like, this to me is the most important thing. I want you to enjoy your business. Your business should be breathing life into you, not taking it out. And a lot of people, and let me know if this is you in the chat, we really want this to be very conversational. If your business has been sucking the life out of you, it is possible for you to shift. So let me know if that's you at all. And the truth is, you here, like, I know my people. I know you are an expert. I know you are a genius. You know you're a genius. You know you get your people amazing results. You have the testimonials, you have the quotes, you know all the things about the work that you do. It's helping the public, it's helping your rich niche know how much of a genius you are. And that's what we're going to talk about, and that's what we're going to help you today. So our overall goal for our clients is to help them get on their track, on their roadmap for 7 figures in 7 hours a week. That's 1 hour a day. And when I say that, that doesn't necessarily mean that's all you're working, but it's 1 hour of CEO time. And when you have your 1 hour of CEO time a day, what starts to happen is you start to get your life back and you start to get your time back. Oh, and my picture didn't show up here. That's okay. Or here. Okay. Well, oh well. Tech happens. So on average, we've been around 5K days for about a year. We've done 6-figure months since November 2022 consistently, without live launching and without being on social media 24/7. And again, that to me is the most important, because I didn't want my kids to grow up with me having to document every single thing about my life and their lives too. So let's talk about making 5K a day, and then I'm going to throw it to Dan in a second. I would love to hear, like, wave your magic wand, give yourself permission to dream huge, to permission granted, dream big. How much money do you want to make in a day? Let me know in the chat. How much money do you want to make in a day? Oh, and Allison, thank you. That reminds me. And how many hours do you want to work a week? And the reason why that's important, because if you said to me, oh, Nicole, you could make $1 million a day, but you have to work 20 hours a day, I am never going to do that. I am never going to work 20 hours a day. I'm never Like, I don't want to do that. There's no amount of money that is worth it for me. And that is a boundary we have set from early on. So I want to know how much you want to make per day and in what time period. Okay, so let's see. We got 2K a day, $1,000 a day with 20-hour weeks, 10K a day, $1,000, 8K day sounds amazing. 20 hours or less, 16 hours a week, 3 hours a day. So you can see, like, for most of us, we're really in that 10 to 25-ish hours per week. Awesome. So this, you don't have to tell us this now, but this is a really important number for you to know right now, because it's like Waze. If I want to get to the mall, I have to be able to input where I am. And if I'm pretending I'm at my mom's house while I'm at my house, I'm not going to get the right route. I'm not going to get the right path. It's going to be wildly incorrect. So it's really important, if you don't know your numbers, to know your numbers and to know how much you are currently making per day. There is, and again, if I'm putting into Waze, it's the literal same exact thing. There is nothing bad about me being at my mom's house or me being at my house. It just is, it is, it's just truth. It's the same thing with how much you're making per day. If I want to get to the mall, I have to put in my truthful, accurate location. And this is the same thing. So just know and find out. You don't have to tell us, but how much are you currently making on average per day? And then what's the gap? This is really important to know the gap, because I did this with a client the other day, and what we realized was she had this gap of only $4,000. And I was like, this is really amazing, $4,000. And then I was like, okay, so what is the number one thing you're selling right now? And she told me, her price point. And I was like, to get to your goal with that price point, that is a heavy lift. And she was like, yeah, I know. And what we realized, which we're going to be talking about, was her price point wasn't actually empowering her to get to her goals. Her price point was actually disempowering her, because it felt, even though she felt really solid in the $4,000 gap, she knew at her current price point with what she was delivering, it was going to take a while to be able to get there. Sure, was it possible? Sure, but my goal always is like, how do we build momentum the fastest as possible? So what is your gap? And you can tell us, or you don't have to tell us. But does your gap feel empowering? Does your gap feel, we'll just use the stoplight again. Does your gap feel like, I got this, green? Does your gap feel like yellow, like, oh, okay, there's a little resistance there? Or does your gut feel like, oh, curse word, this is going to take a lot? Because I really want your gap to feel yellow or green. And if it's not, that's okay. We can talk through by the end of this how to get it there. But what we did with this client was, once we realized her gap, she was like a red in her gap, we actually just reworked what she was doing so she got to green. You can be orange, sure, Julie. We'll allow you to be orange. And the point is, most people aren't doing this math of just to say, like, am I actually set up to get there? Am I actually set up in a really empowered way so I can go out, so I can sell, so I can make sales, and know I'm building momentum? Because, for example, if your gap is $10,000 and you have a $37 membership, it's going to take you a while to get there. And there's nothing wrong with it. It just is. It's just the location on Waze. So how do we set ourselves up in an empowering way so we actually don't have to work so hard? And that's what we're going to be talking through. And truly, it's simple, no matter your audience size. All right. So Dan, you want me to stop my share and you take it over?
Yeah, I'll share from my iPad.
Okay.
Yeah, so what I'm going to share now is this is really why I would say most of you out there are hearing no when you should be hearing yes, is the same reason about 90% of our clients, when they come to us, are not making the type of money they want to be making. And it's because we've been sold this lie of more, of you need, yes, we are in 2 different rooms. We need more. So more meaning we need more leads, we need more clients, we need to put more stuff into our offers, we need more clients at less dollars, and that is just not working anymore. And so this value shift is starting to understand the true relationship between price and value. And so over here, we have a high price and we have a low price. And then on the horizontal, we have value and low value. And where I'm going to start is the bottom right over here. And this is the worker. And I would guess, if I had to put it out there, probably 80% of the people in this room right now are in the worker category. And the worker is, when it comes to selling, they don't understand what their people want, and they feel like a jack of all trades. They don't really do much selling. That people come to them and say, can you do this? And they say yes. Their identity is like, they really identify as like, okay, this is good enough. It's not great, it's not amazing, but it's good. And it's also, they have skills. They are a skilled technician, but they, like I said, they're a jack of all trades. So they're doing a little bit of everything. And because of that, they're not really honing in on what their people actually want and selling that. So they do great work. They provide a ton of value, but they're not able to charge a lot because they don't have great marketing. They really don't understand the value they're providing, and they don't understand the one thing that their people are looking for. Now, where most marketers or most people in the online space talk about is they're pushing you to some low value, low price thing. And so if we go over to the left, this is where we go into the, I call this the generic quadrant. And really why this is the generic quadrant is because now we're becoming a commodity. Because the only thing that matters when you're generic is price. The only sales tactic that you have is to be doing sales, is to be doing cheap, to lowering your price, 10% off, 50% off, 30% off, things like that. And they really don't have marketing because the only thing they market is their price. And so generic is really focused on price instead of value, and it's a race to the bottom. This is also, if you ever find yourself in this trap, whatever you do, no one values it. Because your price so low, no one really cares about the value. They only care about the price. So you're getting a lot of complaints over how expensive things are. No one's really understanding the value that you're providing. The piece that I always put in here is gasoline. Everyone always complains about the price of gas, but no one understands the actual value that gasoline is providing. Like it drives our cars, it heats our houses, it does so much for us, but still people are like, oh, $3.50. Last week it was $3.40. No one wants to be in this quadrant. People slip into it and it's hard to get out, but when you start making the right changes, you can get out of it. So yeah, I'm going to be a little honest with you guys. So where the thing that we want to highlight is there's a relationship between time and price. If you have less time, you have to charge more. If you have more time, you can charge less. That's why a lot of times when you're a beginner, you have more time so you can start by charging less. But as we become an expert, we have less time. We have less available time to give to our clients. We're getting more clients. We have less time in our life. So we should be starting to charge more. Where people slip, where I think one of the big things that holds people back from actually charging their value is they're afraid they're going to get lumped into this top left quadrant. And this is the quadrant that we call the burner. And this is the, they're very positive and they have urgency. I kind of have this like bro marketing, like these are the bro marketers of just like, everything's awesome, sign up now. Everything's awesome, sign up now. Their marketing is on point. Their delivery is not. So the reason we call them the burner is they get sales, but they can't keep anyone around. I can also guarantee 100% of the people here are not in this quadrant. You could never be in this quadrant because you're too worried about service. You're too focused on your people that you could never be the burner. Where we really want you to be is in this top right quadrant, and we call this the elevated CEO. And the elevated CEO is the authority. They understand they are the authority. They understand they are experts. They not only know what to do, but they know what their people want, and they know the one thing that their people will buy. So while they are a master of the trade and they know everything they should be doing, they also know the one thing that their people are willing to pay for. And this is honestly the one thing that pushes people from the worker up into the elevated CEO role, is just understanding their value and understanding, oh my gosh, I have a value to give. I can take all the skills I've been doing as a worker, package them in the right way, market them in the right way, sell them in the right way to get me more money for the value I'm providing. Does anyone have any questions on this? I kind of went through this quickly, but it's really important. Okay. Okay, awesome. So where most people here, I bet, are somewhere in this, it can be somewhere along this line. You can be a high level worker. You can be a low level elevated CEO. I mean, obviously we would really love you somewhere up here in the top right, where you're charging a ton and you're giving a ton. But there's somewhere along the spectrum. So our goal is to work through this and figure out how we can start to charge more for the services we're already providing, or for the results we are already providing. And so to do this, really, we have to work through the rest of the system. Nicole, can I go on, or do you have anything to add?
Yeah, we can definitely go on. But and the reason what you're gonna see is this old model where, again, Dan already talked about it, more equals more. It's people aren't looking for more. I don't know about you, but at this time of year, there's a lot of things going on at school with schedules, spring concerts, end of year parties, field days. Like I could list, right, exactly. And if we are continually, if our person is kind of like us who has these massive schedules and we're just offering them more and more and more, just like more leads doesn't equal more sales anymore, more things for your people to do does not equal more sales for you either, does not equal higher conversion. So what we want to talk about is really how to step into the elevated CEO so you're seen as the authority, which will allow you to not only raise your prices, charge your authority, but also skyrocket your conversions.
Yeah. Great. So what we need to focus on is understanding the one thing that you do that will make you millions of dollars. This is where it gets to, if you are a computer programmer and you're doing coding, the coding is worth, I don't know how many dollars per hour, but if you use that coding to create something like Twitter, you make billions of dollars. So it's the difference between what you put in is not equal to the result that you get out. It's substantially more, because you understand. It's like that old story. There's a story of a boat breaks down. It's this big cruise liner, and they call this guy and they're like, hey, we need you to come fix it. So he comes out, he gets there right away, and it takes 2 minutes, and he hammers on the right spot. The boat starts moving and they leave. He charges them $20,000, and they're like, this is absurd. We're not paying $20,000 for 2 minutes of your time. And he said, oh, the 2 minutes, that was only $5. The $19,995 was knowing where to hit it. And so that really is understanding not only just the things you're giving them, but the importance of those things and when to give it to them, how to give it to them so that they get the greatest results. When you can really figure out where to hit, like what to talk about to your people, this can attract more of your dream clients. It can also allow you to let go of those people you don't want to work with and naturally position yourself as the authority. And everyone always asks us, yeah, that sounds great, but how? So we're going to actually walk through that right now. And there should have been a picture of a triangle on this page, but there is not. So you get to see me draw a triangle. So this is our triangle of how we work with our clients to build them into the authority so that they understand what to sell to their people and how to sell it. And the ultimate goal, as Nicole mentioned earlier, is not just 5-figure days, but it's 7-figure years in 7 hours a week. So we want to get to $1 million working 7 hours a week. And with us and our clients, there are 3 things that we work on to get there. And the first, as Nicole mentioned earlier, is this thing that we called 6-figure funnels. And this is our system to attract the right people to us and get them to buy something. And so the first piece of this is our money magnet words. Because I know everyone here is an expert, you are blessed with knowing so much about your industry, about your people's problems, about how to fix their problems. It is an amazing blessing. It is also a curse because you do not understand the words that your people are using to describe the problems and the results they are having and that they want. So there's this ginormous disconnect. As an expert, you're describing the problems and results one way. As the non-expert, they're describing those exact same problems and exact same results using entirely different language. And what we see is with experts, if you are not using the words your people are using, your people assume you're not talking to them. So the first piece of creating 6-figure funnels is understanding your money magnet words that your people are using to naturally attract your people back to you and say, oh my gosh, that is me. How did you know that? Were you in my diary? So that is our first goal, is to get that response. The next piece of this is working through your rich niche. And what this means is really speaking to the people who value what you do the most, will take the most action with your content and actually take fast action. Now, when you speak to your rich niche, you're going to notice some things change in your business. The first is they take fast action. So they will respond. They will show up to calls. They will show up to trainings. They will buy quickly. And then when they come into your program, your product, your service, they will take action with that paid stuff and get amazing results. And so when you hit your rich niche, you can actually get better clients into your program who get better results than you could ever expect. We have an entire training on the rich niche. If you want to see that, just shoot us an email, hi@Nicole Culver, and say rich niche, and I'll send it to you. But the 2-second version is when we talk to this person, we can get better leads who understand more of our value. And those leads turn into better clients who get better results, who help us with our value, with our testimonials, with our renewal rates, with our referrals, and even with our pricing. So when we talk about profitability and we talk about value versus price, having and speaking to your rich niche is extremely important. Now, the last piece of our 6-figure funnels is our cash conversations. I'll just say cash combos. What we mean by this is when we use our money magnet words and we speak to our rich niche, we should have the ability to get our audience to talk back. If we cannot get our audience to talk back, that is problem number 1 and nothing else matters. Once we can get our audience to talk back, we should be able to have a conversation with them and bring them to the sale. What you sell is completely up to you. Obviously, we would love to talk about what your offers are and how we can do it. But the first piece is getting them to buy something. This can be low ticket, high ticket, mid ticket, anything you want. But we need those leads converting to sales. We do this for 2 reasons. 1, cash flow and getting to that 5K a day goal. But 2, it's data. If you are talking to your people and they're talking back and they will not buy, something's off in your messaging. And so a lot of people always come to us and say, oh, I need to work on my messaging. And we say, okay, so what are you going to do? And they're like, oh, I don't know. I'm just going to work on my messaging. How you work on your messaging is following this process. Speaking, using your money magnet words, getting people to talk back to you. If you can get your people to talk back to you, your messaging is doing well. If you can get more people to talk back to you, your messaging is improving. As you get more people to buy from you, you can tell that your messaging is even getting better. Make sense so far? And if you could judge your business, and we can use the stoplight, the green, yellow, red, when it comes to speaking to your rich niche, when talking to your best people who value what you do you think you're a green, amazing, I'm doing a great job, I get amazing clients who take action, yellow, as in it's sometimes good, sometimes bad, or red, I don't think I have a rich niche and I have no idea how to speak to my rich niche? Okay, Val, that's great feedback. Did a cash combo with my email list and got a ton of replies. Did the same thing on IG and hearing crickets. Well, so Val, I would definitely continue to test that out. Obviously, everything doesn't always carry over from one to another, but it's a great experiment, and we can always talk through it too. Okay, so we got some yellows, some reds, yellowish. Okay, sometimes yellow, sometimes red. All right, so I'm going to call this. I'm going to call this a yellow. Okay, awesome. So then we're going to flip over to the other side. And this is honestly my favorite side of the funnel. And we call this the fast cash side. And the reason we call it fast cash is because to get to 5K a day, we have to be focusing on getting sales every single day, every single week, if not every single day. And what we also need is not just $10 sales and $1 sales. We need significant revenue coming in. And so the first place that we work on with our clients is developing an HVO. We call this a high value offer. Going back to the previous exercise that we just did, is we have to understand our value, but we also have to understand what our people value. What does our audience actually want to pay for, and create an offer around that. And so when we have that, we can go out and start getting sales every single week, and we can really develop and get those sales coming in. And as we have that offer and we connect it to our cash conversations, we're actually the biggest problem is going to be we're running out of time. So the next thing that we need to set up is a scalable selling system.
Dan, I was just going to say about the high value offer, something that's really important. If you made your offer, if you created your offer before 2024, there used to be this kind of trend of just like everything and the kitchen sink, just like throwing in everything that's possible in your offer. And those offers that are filled with just like thing after thing. And I totally get it. We had so many offers like that too. But what happens is, first of all, you're devaluing your offer. And you obviously know by now I love analogies, but it's like, what's your favorite candy? Like, what's your favorite thing to eat? For me, it's just like dark chocolate. That's my favorite thing. If someone had 2 baskets for sale and one was $10 with tons of candy in it, and there was like one tiny thing of dark chocolate, and then there was a more expensive basket and it was $30, but it was all dark chocolate. I'm willing to pay more to get the thing that I desire and the thing that I like versus $10 of all these things that actually have no value to me because I don't like them. And this is what is happening right now. People are willing to spend more for something they highly value, highly want, and highly need right now. So if you have an offer that is, for example, a nutrition offer that also does fitness, that also talks about sleep, that also talks about all of these other things that your people don't care about. They are not going to highly value it because it's not what they desire, it's not what they want, and it's not what they need. So a lot of offers are actually very out of touch with 2024 conditions, I'll say. And your offer, the HVO, has to be directly in line with the one thing that your people want. It really is about, when you're an authority, you're a specialist, and your people don't want a jack of all trades. They want truly a specialist. So if you are having one of the everything in the kitchen sink offer and you don't have an HVO, and then you're undercharging, you're actually devaluing yourself, and your people are looking elsewhere because they're looking for someone who is perceiving themselves as an authority. So if your prices are too low, your dream clients are actually seeing it and it's not in alignment, and it's actually repelling them because they're not seeing the pricing in alignment with someone who has mastery in the subject. And we all know that you here have mastery, but you also have to show it. So it's not about charging your worth, but it is about charging for your authority, and your pricing does position you for your authority. You do not want your offer or your prices to dilute your authority. You want them to build your authority.
Yes, and Sarah, we do mean bonuses, but we mean like everything. So it is in terms of what you even talk about in your offer, the number of one-to-one calls, what you'll go over, what you'll work on. We really want to be very specific, like Nicole said, like the bag of dark chocolate, not the bag of Skittles, M&Ms, gummy bears, and one piece of dark chocolate. We want to include more of the things that they want and less of the stuff. Yes, exactly. And so I always say, like, I'm happy to talk about how we can get you to whatever revenue goal you want, but we cannot get there selling a $27 PDF or a $300 course. That's absolute junk. Like, it has to have value. That's why we say high value. High value means it's highly valuable to your audience. You may not even view it as valuable as something else you could offer, but your audience views it as highly valuable. Okay, awesome, Sarah. So the next step is scalable selling, is figuring out a system, following our system to actually get your time back. So as more of these leads come in, and you have more opportunities to sell, you're doing it in a way that actually gets you your time back. Because again, we are worried about your time. We want to value your time as much as your money, and we want to take care of both. And then once we have the HVO and we have the scalable selling system, now we can use our Facebook ad funnel, which is we call multiple chance selling. And what that means is when you set up an evergreen sales system, you have multiple chances to sell to the same audience. And when you have multiple offers offered multiple times, this is really where we can start stacking the cash, which leads me into the next piece. But this is the really important piece, is that most Facebook ad trainers, Facebook ad managers, Facebook ad funnel builders build one funnel to one offer. We build one funnel to multiple offers, and we have multiple opportunities to sell that offer. So most people have one lead comes in, they have one opportunity to be sold to, and then they go from like 30 to 90 days of nurturing before they will sell to them again. If we just sold to that one lead 3 more times every single week, we would get more sales. So this multiple chance selling system is something we started implementing about 5 years ago, and it drastically increased our sales. And it also provided even more data and more feedback, and got it going. All right, Allison. Yes. And so the last piece of this is, once we get the funnel set up to bring you more leads, once we get the fast cash set up to bring you more sales, the last thing we need to do is we need to stack the cash. And what I mean by this is, surprisingly enough, where most people's biggest potential for revenue is getting their existing clients to stay with them longer, and either renew with them or refer for them. And that is one of the biggest missing pieces to most big people's business to getting to those 5K days. And so the first thing we need to do is what we call the Tiny Promise timeline. And when you use our Tiny Promise timeline, this ensures that the people who are buying your high value offer are actually coming in and getting the results that you've promised them. The reason this is so important is, if we can get your current customers to get the results you've already promised them, they are more likely to renew. And if they renew, that's just more cash that you can bring in to protect your business, so that you're not so reliant on new sales. So you're not so reliant on Facebook ads. And if you are relying on organic or Facebook ads, for every client you bring in, they're even more valuable because they're getting results. They're wanting to hang out more. They're wanting to stay more. The next thing that we need to work on when we stack the cash is the 30-30-30. This is something that our clients really love when we start talking about it. Is the number one way to increase your revenue is make sure that you're not overspending your time. And so what we like to encourage all of our clients to use is the 30-30-30. 30% of your week should be spent on marketing. That is stuff to do to generate leads. So that is on Instagram, podcast, I don't know, anything to build a Facebook ads. Those are building leads. That's marketing. 30% of your week should be done on sales. That is actually trying to get sales. That's sales calls, that's trainings, that's follow-up, that's things like that. And then the final 30% should be spent on your actual paying clients. And so what we saw when we started talking about this, we saw about 80 to 90% of people's weeks were spent on client service and marketing, and almost no time was spent selling. And so when we can just increase the amount of time we spend selling, we will naturally increase our revenue, which will bring us closer to that 5K a day goal. And then the last piece of this is, again, stepping into that elevated CEO. This is the person who owns their authority, as we saw in the last exercise, owns their authority, sees themselves as the master of their skill set, but they also understand the one thing that their person will buy so that they can sell that. The elevated CEO is also someone who is going to be such a visionary that people will naturally follow them. People being their leads, but also their own team. So the elevated CEO is stepping into that team leadership and going through and having the support that they need, and doing it in a way that they're leading their people and they're leading their audience. And so this helps with selling, but it also helps with leading your team. Nicole, anything else to add on any of that? Okay, so I went over a lot because I wanted to show the entire system. Does anyone have any questions? I just want to pause before we move on and just make sure, are we all on the same page? Is everyone starting to see the picture of how this is all fitting together? Oh, great question, Allison. So 30% sales. So what I mean by sales, is doing anything that you could collect someone's credit card for. So that is even working on a sales page, but it's doing sales calls. It is following up with people. It is sending out offers. So, all right, Allison, you got it. So it's really important that people don't understand what they could be doing to get more sales. And this is one of the biggest muscles that I think entrepreneurs need to grow, is that sales muscle. It's like, okay, if I needed to get sales tomorrow, what would I be doing today to get those sales? So great. Awesome. All right. It seems like everyone's pretty clear. So I think we're ready to move on. Oh, just stop. Hold on one second. All right, I can keep going, Nicole. So what I wanted to talk about now is creating a sales page, basically anything working on offer. Yes, exactly, Austin. Exactly. So what I wanted to talk about now is obviously we have a program, Elevate, that walks you through everything that we just walked through. So I'm going to share my screen again. I got it working. So in Elevate, we walk you through how to set up your six-figure funnels. We walk you through how to target your rich niche, how to develop your money magnet words. It is customized one-to-one support plus masterminding. And so we are actually acting as advisors. I say we because it's Nicole, myself, and our team of advisors. We are acting as an advisor to you to provide one-to-one support so that you can develop your rich niche. You can figure out the messaging to attract that rich niche, how to develop your high value offer, how to get scalable sales, how to develop your multiple chance selling system, how to stack the cash. So if anyone wants to learn more about this, because it is such a one-to-one program, we want to do a call with you just to make sure you're a right fit and that we are a right fit for you. So if you are interested, just put your number in the chat and we can have a conversation about it. So you could just private message Dan Culver, just send me your number and we'll have a quick text conversation and find a great time to chat. The bonus that we're offering is that we're doing a cash injection mastermind in June. And then we also are doing a setup to scale intensive. And this is a 45-minute call with me to show you exactly where in your business you're not set up to scale and see the tweaks that we need to make to get you to those $5,000 days. So if you want to see if you're fit for Elevate, so you can set up your 6-figure a month funnel and get the gift of your time back while scaling to 7 figures, just put your number in the chat, just shoot me your phone number, and you'll also get access to those 2 bonuses. And if we have any questions, or if anyone wants to ask any questions about Elevate or about anything we went over, we are here to chat, because I do want to make sure everyone has clarity on what we went over today. Yeah, Val. So the investment in Elevate, we actually have a few different ways that we're working with our clients together. So it is a 5-figure investment, but we do have some different options. So if you wanted to talk through it, I'm happy to kind of chat and see what would be the best fit for you. Because obviously we want to make sure that you're getting the return on your investment. Didn't understand. Set up a call. Are the bonuses because of that? Allison, the bonuses are so the bonuses that we're including are inside Elevate that you get when you join. So that what did I say? So the cash injection mastermind and the scale intensive, those are 2 bonuses you get inside Elevate as a free bonus when you sign up for Elevate. Any other questions or thoughts after the training? And if you don't have a question, I would love to hear your favorite thing. What is something you can go out and implement, or start? What are some tweaks you can start making right now to your business? Awesome, Julie. And thank you, Val. Great, Val. Yes. Okay, the 30, 30, 30. Very interesting. Okay, Ramsey, that's good. That's good. All right. Well, if there's not any other questions or anything else anyone wants to talk through, we can wrap up. Nicole just put the bonuses in the chat. So if you are interested in talking, just shoot us a direct message with your phone number and we'll set up a time to talk. All right. Thank you, everyone. Bye.